Hi, thanks so much for tuning in today. Welcome to our first ever AWS Developer Innovation Day, our new program for developers and technical leaders. I'm Adam Seligman. I'm the Vice President of Developer Experience for AWS. And I'm grateful that you joined us today for this keynote and for all the expert, community, and deep dive sessions that we've got planned for you today. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming who's an expert at AWS, and I'd like everybody who is new to AWS. Thank you for coming also. So our theme of the day is building without limits, and our intentions are to show you how AWS is being deliberate, thoughtful, and focused on developers and developer experience with all of our latest innovations, and how we're working to streamline the experience and help you take opportunities to go from your idea all the way to impact. And this might be from building a full stack application, or enabling you to work more productively using generative AI technology, or making DevOps easier for you in the cloud. Everything we do, we're focused on putting developers and teams first. Now, we also want to provide information on how AWS gives you the tools you need to easily start new projects, innovate, and leverage all the breadth and depth of AWS capabilities and partner integrations to work seamlessly with the tools that you prefer so you can build without limits in the cloud. And lastly, we'll share some steps that we're taking to empower you, developers and teams, to help further grow your knowledge and to really join and connect and grow with our community. So again, you can start building on AWS. Now, there isn't an organization that can grow and succeed in today's economy without software and without empowering their developers and software teams. Yet, we're living in a moment impacted by uncertainty and constraints. Teams are operating with limited resources. It's just the reality. Budgets are tighter. And when more responsibility is being placed on developers to build and ship great products even faster. So we're not only dependent on developers and teams to innovate today, but we need to empower developers to be able to build for tomorrow. Now companies need to move quickly to deliver unique value to their customers, but developers are facing this continuous evolution of new platforms, new languages, new frameworks. We learn more about new best practices, and it makes it hard for developers to stay on top of the latest tools and technologies, really no matter what their skill set is. And this comes down to time. Developers have to spend significant time learning and just doing lots of adjunct activities that detract and slow them from all of our primary goal, which is just build and deliver great software quickly, securely, and reliably. Now, nobody writes code in a silo. And finding new ways to collaborate as like a unit, like a really cohesive team with our tools unlocks potential to deliver value faster and more reliably. Now, look, building and scaling a DevOps culture is hard, but it's worth it. You know, teams have more storage, more compute, more tools, more choices than they've ever had before. And it builds up to sort of like endless decisions of what to buy, to build, to integrate. And at the same time, there's this pressure to automate more and ship faster. And teams are collaborating with more people with all different backgrounds, different specialty, and of course, different opinions. And so constantly, the technical stacks have grown to include multiple languages, frameworks, databases, tools. And the DevOps culture is what bridges all these differences and empowers people to do their best work together. Now, if developers and teams are to work without silos, they have to work with tools that are not accessed in silos and managed in silos. Teams have to start with pre-integrated tools to just work in the very beginning, like a cohesive solution. And these solutions should be opinionated, so you get to value quickly. But of course, with opinion, you also need flexibility. We need flexibility so they can adapt to the real people with the unique needs, resources, and skills. And that may change over time. So developers face pressure to innovate while they're carrying these increasing responsibilities that we talked about. But they want to build with great innovative tools. And developers need tools that fit their unique use cases. So let me give you some examples. Now, front-end developers have a whole broad range of responsibilities and needs when they build their web and their mobile apps. And they want to get started quickly, and they want to get to market quickly, and they want to iterate in that really fast inner loop. And they need to leverage the cloud to deliver differentiated experiences. They want to build cloud features, but front-end devs don't want to become back-end experts. They don't want to write boilerplate code. They just want best practices built in. And they want to end up with like these seamless cross-platform experiences for their customers that just deliver this like really unique and consistent brand experience. Now, cloud architects and cloud developers are building like backends, building backends of web and mobile apps, building cloud applications, and like they want to build quickly, but they want to focus on security and reliability and scale. They want to abstract infrastructure complexity so they can shorten their learning curve, and they also want really clear paths to prod, paths to production, so they can get that value out to their end customers. And then when we look at like broad teams, software teams, they really need a streamlined, cohesive experience that makes it easy to deliver high-quality software quickly and reliably. But what we see is there's just a whole lot of configuring project files and setting stuff, a whole set of disjointed tools up. Has really been a big time sink in the past for getting started. And what they're trying to do is align their people and their processes and their tools and just really get a unified customer focus for the software team. So everybody wants great tools that work for them, that meet them where they are and match their unique background, skill sets, and experiences, whether you're a front-end dev, a mobile dev, a cloud architect, or your whole software DevOps teams. So unlocking the power of developers and teams of developers is just core to our mission, something I think about, the teams think about every single day. And across all AWS services, we want our developers to be able to get started quickly and access just the broadest set of capabilities so developers can build together. And it's time for a new developer experience that enables developers and teams to do their best work. And this means giving them access to the resources and tools that they love so they can just focus on the business logic and focus on the domain they're in and focus on the applications they want to focus on and ship faster. So at AWS, we're innovating to provide every developer and every development team the tools they need to be successful, whether it's faster and easier to get started, generative AI tools help them write code faster, and tools that let you collaborate more efficiently with your teammates, so you can modern your whole software delivery process and deliver applications at scale. Well, it sounds like a lot, but the good news is we hope that there are fewer new things to learn. And so we want to make it easy for developers to get started and provide just extensive support for like the languages, the frameworks and tools that each of you like. And this way you can leverage your existing skills and ramp up quickly to build these amazing apps that maybe you wouldn't think were possible otherwise. So it's a really wide breadth of support for your preferred tooling, languages, and IDEs. I hope you see something here on this list as an example that really catches your attention because it's a technology that you love. So an example would be front-end developers. AWS supports JavaScript frameworks such as Vue, React, and Next.js. For native mobile developers, we have iOS, Android libraries, and also some of these new cross-platform front-end technologies like Flutter and React Native. Now for back-end developers, our AWS developers can pick from a whole variety of frameworks and programming languages. There's actually 9 different SDKs, .NET, Java, Python, that help just take the complexity out of developing on AWS and give you like an idiomatic API that lets you use AWS services in a really familiar way. It just comes down to fewer things to learn so you can get more productive and go faster on AWS. So a theme for us is abstractions. AWS abstracts away complexities for common software development use cases, such as providing point-and-click interfaces or project blueprints that make it faster and easy to get started, and giving you this combination of opinionated guidance with best practices built in, but also giving you the flexibility to go beyond that. And the idea is you can start building software the right way and get things like security and reliability engineered right from the start. Let me give you some examples of that. So AWS Amplify provides front-end developers opinionated workflows and best practices for common web application use cases and scenarios. And this is technologies like authentication, data, and storage. And with Amplify, front-end devs can build and ship full-stack applications in just hours using the languages and frameworks they already love. Amplify hosting has 0 configuration workflows, and you can spin up Next.js and SSR server-side rendered web applications quickly. Another example that we're really excited to talk about today is Amazon CodeCatalyst, which we just hit general availability of. And it is a new unified software development service for quickly building and delivering apps in AWS. And it's designed for teams, And it provides features like blueprints to help teams get up and running with blueprints with architectures that are built by AWS experts. Another example is the AWS CDK with constructs that provide abstract components that use best practices for building cloud infrastructure by default. And developers can get started quickly using AWS-provided CDK constructs, or you can have like a platform team that can take like your organization's best practices, package them up, and then share them out with your end development teams, which is pretty cool. Another example is AWS Application Composer, which we released at reInvent and a preview, and then GA'd recently, which is a visual tool to build serverless applications. Really neat. So just seamless between working with the visual tool and working with from IAC for serverless applications. So all in all, AWS is trying to make it faster and easier to build, while also ensuring that developers and teams of developers can harness the full depth and power of AWS services as your needs and use cases evolve, without that fear you might have otherwise of reaching a dead end. So again, I want to make this real. I want to give you a really specific example. So with AWS Amplify, you get started building a full stack application visually. You can then extend the application using the full depth of AWS services, just with a few lines of code. But what you're getting is CDK, and it's fully customizable, so you won't outgrow it. And now you're going to hear more about each of these services today. So you heard a lot so far about software development toolkits and accelerators and stuff. But I also want to talk about the community. AWS has a global community of like active builders who are in there sharing advice, guidance, and code on how to build anything and everything on AWS. And some examples are AWS Heroes. Our heroes are worldwide experts. They're influencers. They're content creators. They love to share knowledge and insights with the community. Our community builders are extraordinary. And the Community Builder Program offers technical resources, mentorship, and networking opportunities with enthusiasts. We have more than 400 AWS developer user groups worldwide, and these includes developers of all different backgrounds and skill sets all over the world. And I'd really encourage all of you to join a local group, get to know the community, ask questions, share ideas, learn about best practices, hear who's hiring and who's building cool stuff in the industry. It's awesome to participate. And students can get involved with AWS Cloud Clubs. And now these are peer-to-peer user groups for students by students. And just really great networking, career building events, hackathons to get plugged into, and some neat benefits for students. So, and then of course, AWS offers a wide variety of training and certification programs. So you can really, in a formal, structured way, acquire the cloud skills that are going to help you accelerate your career. And there are language-specific resources in AWS Developer Center on the website if you come from a particular background in language community and want to get the resources that really make the most sense for the way you would like to work. So one of the hottest areas right now is generative AI, and we all feel like we're in this like age of transformation. And it seems like generative AI in the future is going to help redefine like every aspect of the developer experience. It's like whole new possibilities. And this is good because it's a world where developers have more responsibilities than ever in tight resource environment, and they need new ways of being more productive and building and shipping great software. Now, one of the fastest growing uses of generative AI is to help developers write code. Software developers spend a lot of time just writing boilerplate code today. And they also spend a lot of time just trying to keep up with sort of like the ever-changing tool and tech landscape and trying to learn new things. Just leaves you with less time to really develop the actual innovative capabilities you want to deliver out for your customers, for your users. So honestly, one thing developers do is to solve this problem, they sort of like copy and modify code snippets from the web. And you could end up with like copying code that doesn't work, or accidentally introducing a security vulnerability. And you might not be tracking your usage of open source software in a way that meets your organization's needs. So all of this, though, gets in the way, ultimately, of really writing the business logic and delivering that end user value. So it's cool. These generative AI-powered coding assistants have emerged that take this heavy lifting out of the equation and just author much of the code for you. Now, Amazon is not new to AI and ML. And it's exciting to see over 20 years we've been using this kind of technology across our business. Our e-commerce recommendation engine is driven by ML. The robots driving around doing picking routes in our fulfillment centers are driven by ML. Our supply chain forecasting, capacity planning is informed by ML. Prime Air are our drones, and the computer vision that's used in Amazon Go, our physical retail stores, that lets you just grab something off the shelf and walk out, uses deep learning. Alexa is powered by machine learning systems, and it helps millions of people, billions of times each week, manage their smart home, shop, and get information, entertainment, and set that kitchen timer. So we have whole teams at Amazon committed to ML, and it's a big part of our heritage, it's a big part of what's hot now, and it's a big part of our future. And at AWS, we're playing a role in democratizing AI ML and making it accessible to anyone that wants to use it. Now, one way we are bringing ML to developers is with the recent general availability announcement of Amazon CodeWhisperer. Now, CodeWhisperer is an AI coding companion that will plug into your IDE and generate whole lines and functional code in your IDE just to help you get more done faster. And what's particularly cool is it helps you write secure application code, and it does it in a responsible way. It supports a whole bunch of languages, so Python, Java, JavaScript, TypeScript. New languages like Go, Kotlin, Rust, PHP, and SQL is supported, C#, of course. And it plugs into the IDE of your choice, VS Code, IntelliJ, AWS Cloud9, the AWS Lambda console, PyCharm, lots of other places you can plug this in and use it. Now, we want to support developers and organizations of all shapes and sizes so they can deliver like quality, efficiently deliver, and consistently deliver great code. But doing the same thing over and over again is just not the developer way. We want to help you do what you do best, solve complex problems with innovative solutions. So during the preview, we ran a productivity challenge. And it turns out the participants that used CodeWhisperer were 27% more likely to complete tasks successfully, and they did so an average of 57% faster than those who didn't use CodeWhisperer. So I don't know about you, but going 57% faster sounds really attractive. Now, productivity sounds good, but it's a problem if the code generated has hidden security vulnerabilities in it, or it doesn't handle open source responsibility. So again, one thing that we're really proud of with CodeWhisperer, and we think it makes it the best coding companion, is when it comes to coding securely and using AI responsibly. CodeWhisperer is the only AI coding companion that has built-in security scanning for finding and suggesting remediations for hard-to-detect security vulnerabilities. To help you code responsibly, CodeWhisperer filters out code suggestions that might be considered biased or unfair. And CodeWhisperer is the only coding companion that can both filter and flag code suggestions that resembles like open source code that you should reference or license to use. So this is cool. CodeWhisperer is free for all individual users. Anyone can sign up for CodeWhisperer. You just need an email account, and you can become more productive writing code right away. Using CodeWhisperer individual tier, individuals can like generate code without any limits while they're coding. And this is cool. You don't even actually have to have an AWS account to use the tool, which is fun. So it's a giant leap forward. This is just the beginning. There's a lot more to come. It's exciting for all skill levels, and everyone is going to be able to innovate with generative AI. And this next wave of machine learning is going to power some really cool new possibilities for you. Now, we talked about productivity, and being productive is just one measure of success for software development. It's one we talk about a lot, but there are other measures that matter when thinking about improving developer experience. You know, you could be productive, but you might not be enjoying the work that you're doing. And if you're not enjoying it, you're probably not at your most creative either. So when we think about developer productivity, like that measure of quantity of output, when we talk about that, it's easy to forget the human element, that it's the real reason that software creates so much value for customers. And you want to get rid of things that hold you back from doing your best work. So today, there are many ways to build a pipeline that's just way better than the early days of DevOps. But candidly, we still see developers and organizations spend a lot of their time doing things that take them out of that sort of delightful state of flow that lets them really do great work and enjoy their work and be productive. And so an example is like a CI/CD pipeline. They might be up and running just fine now, but you know that setup took a long time, and different parts of the user interface or part of the workflow are accessed through totally different user interfaces or tools. And you know, the place where you really feel that is when a new teammate comes onto the project, and it's going to take like weeks to get them up to speed and productive and checking in code, have their local environment up and running. So all of these challenges can feel like paper cuts, where like individually any one of them is manageable, but they add up and they just produce enjoyment in our daily experience of building great software. So we want to help take away those paper cuts. And what we ended up with is something centered on the human aspect of software delivery and DevOps, and remove all those friction people face when they start a new project or bring a teammate in or make a change to the application and change to where it's deployed. And we want to make it possible for you to spend more of your time doing your best work. Just solve those actual difficult challenges that will make an impact to your customers. So recently, we announced the general availability of Amazon CodeCatalyst. And this is a new unified software development service for teams to enable them to easily build, test, and deploy applications. And we built CodeCatalyst to help developers just enjoy their work by reducing friction they might encounter when building production apps on AWS. It's a place for developers to come together and work, reduce the paper cuts that they have in their day-to-day experience, and it's fully integrated. It's like it brings together all the components that teams need to ship code just in one service that you don't have to set up or maintain yourself. The app, the pipelines, all that. It's just done for you. Like an application for developers managed by AWS. Now we'll keep it available, we'll keep it secure, so you can spend time building your products. And we think developers are actually going to really enjoy using this experience. It's neat. There's a place on AWS where developers can come together and start building the right way and experience minimal friction and get you all the way from idea to production. Now, let me give you some example of things that I'm particularly excited about in CodeCatalyst. One of them are blueprints, which you can use to get your product started with everything you need up in minutes. And blueprints tell CodeCatalyst how to create projects and pipelines. You can customize them with the languages and frameworks you want. You can deploy to any region without managing any of the underlying cloud infrastructure. They even come with sample code so you can see how all the pieces work together and start moving really fast. Now, once you've got started with your blueprint, you can use CodeCatalyst cloud-hosted dev environments. These are dev machines in the cloud, and they work with popular IDEs. And so you're building immediately with everything configured right, the dependencies configured right, the CLI and SDK, everything configured right. And this is cool because you can invite other people to join your project, and they instantly gain access to all of its code, context, and history, and it's all configured the right way. So it's easy for someone new to come drop in and get productive fast. It's neat. CodeCatalyst has project management built in, and it interacts with your Git workflows and lets you assign things like a code review or a PR, a pull request, without having to leave the service. We built CodeCatalyst in an opinionated way, so it's super fast to get started, but also made it super flexible and extensible so it can adapt to your needs. And we designed it to work with the tools that you already know and love. For example, with Git, with VS Code, and other technologies that you use today. Okay, we've got a fun day planned. So today's topics and sessions will provide you with a deep dive into CodeCatalyst and a whole lot more. We're going to show you a bunch of new innovations. We're going to walk you through practical use cases, and we're going to show you how you and your teams get started quickly in AWS, be more productive, and focus on innovation, and like build for tomorrow. Like we're going to have sessions for cloud practitioners that are super experienced and for people that are new to the cloud. Let me orient you to the day. Our morning sessions are going to show you how you can build web and mobile apps and use AWS for front-end web and mobile, and build like the best feature-rich web, mobile, cross-platform apps using technologies like Next.js and Flutter, and adding cool real-time interactive features to those apps using technologies like GraphQL, and then showing you how to scale them up as your needs evolve. Our afternoon sessions will focus on how you can use DevOps in the cloud and really streamline how your team collaborates and get that better flow. You'll learn how AWS makes it easy to build and ship high-quality apps faster using modern infrastructure and a DevOps methodology. And we're going to show you how AWS is innovating with generative AI, putting it in your hands to make it easier to quickly write high-quality code in a responsible way. And now, over the whole day, we've tried to make it really fun. So there's going to be the opportunity to engage with AWS experts, our product and service teams, our developer advocates, our AWS community is here. Hello, community, and all the community builders and heroes that are tuning in. Thanks for coming. So a really exciting day planned. Now, AWS, we believe, is the home for all builders, every kind of developer. This is our vision. And that might be spinning up new projects to building full stack apps, teams use generative AI, making DevOps like really easy in the cloud so anybody can get that amazing team flow, and really putting the developers first, and that's just the beginning. So we continue to invest and ensure that AWS is just the best home for all developers and software teams. You know, there are millions of active customers every month. It's growing all the time, and we take our responsibility really seriously to support those builders, bring new builders in, get those next great ideas invented, speed everybody up, remove the paper cuts, and solve these problems that none of us totally understand yet in this exciting new areas that we're moving into. So let's go build together. We're thrilled to have you here, and thanks for joining us today.